Girl Tuesday is already Girl Tuesday. Example, into your Hollywood Leadership, or we did between Girl Tuesdays with students that come up to the student union. So that you can get some Girl Tuesday. And then we will be here in the really love the morning of joy as well. And then we can communicate. We can here. It is more formal, definitely wear make sure your shirt or jacket is good. You want it to be well fitted, you don't want it to be too loose or too tight, and you really don't want it to be wrinkled or creased. Make sure that ornament is not prepared. Make sure it's don't found anything of that. Just look and prepared. So really that's all. Just before we go to a meeting. Starting from the clean air, clean air, such picture, and then into the meeting, and don't put too much on if you don't have any kind of distracting. So I remember here in Victoria, just some rooms, maybe, doing other professionals, and if you did have questions, first, if you are having, with paper or unprepared, and you're uploading here in Knoxville, and there are different series of assignments. For one, identity environment, Jose Banks, Smith, Fairhouse, and NS Collins, those are all located here in West Knoxville. For the Walkers here, Deborah and are two great options, and they usually always have some deals or promotions going on. From which is at like Kamal, which is very good in Knoxville, so if you're more into transgender pieces, that's a great selection. And more sustainable options is Goodwill, Clark, and Sophie's Classic here in the student union, which we'll visit later this evening. Then we'll talk about just to kind of help give some inspiration. It's very common nowadays. These powder suits having a jumpsuit or blazer matching with hair. It's really popular and really professional, but can also go casual as well. And whether it's or athletic just make sure it's well fitted. You don't want anything to and you want to keep it appropriate and professional. You just want to be comfortable. You don't want to have to be fidgeting or fixing your clothes while you're in a meeting. Avoid jeans or capris or forward pants or khakis boys in their function as well. Skirts and dresses are always a good option, but make sure the length is appropriate. You don't want it to be too short. And then some concepts. So clothing like you discussed, shirts, polos, sweaters, blouses, ties are always optional, blazers, and tucky pants. Like you said, make sure the length on any dress or skirt is appropriate. No jeans, shorts, during the meeting. More conservative, if you don't want anything too flashy or it's distracting to other members. So that you know, you can wear a photo or a purse or any other sort of that. There's also good shoes like shorts, loafers, flats, wedges, or heels. You want to be able to walk in them, so make sure they're not too high. But it's ideally comfortable. And just like feeling with your hair, clean nails, you know, make sure it's not kind of chipping. If you have to make sure that one hole is easy. Attention to, just so it's not distracting to others. And then we have a test everything burning just to do samples. Shoes, things that are heels and flats are great, spurs, mules, slides. That's always keep it just simple, you don't anything too distracting to other members, and I have a great choice of questions, so and looking for women's or feminine accessories and clothing during Knoxville. Is podcast. And our technology is also great if you're looking for trendier pieces and has that Kingston Court. Here is Loft and Turkey Creek, Altered State, which has two locations that you can make well. It's a great option. And I do offer a student teacher discount, which is great. Another thing here too, like we talked about, is H&M if you're looking for some trendy pieces. And sustainable options, farm, Goodwill, and Smoky Spot that are great as well. And then more of the professional is here. Well, you can see the difference from the technical to professional. If you the suit shirt, where I to formal dress shirt, make sure it's well. You don't want the sleeve to be too long or too short. You don't want wrinkles or creases. Make sure it's well. Just put it together. Here's some accessories. You got various options of shoes. You want to wear dress shoes. Want to take not necessarily go with the sneaker look as much as the casual was appropriate. And here's the accessories. Just keep it minimal, like a watch and a belt. Always good too. Matching two-piece dark colored suits are always very popular. Sweater those pieces are always good. You don't always have to wear a tie, and if you don't, just make sure your shirt's nice and buttoned. Neutral colors is the best, and you don't want to wear anything too flashy. Just because it can be distracting to others. Make sure your clothes are wearing, especially with suits. It can get wrinkled easily. Accessories, you definitely just want to keep it conservative and minimal, like we talked about, and still just bring up portfolio. Your dog is a great option as well. And just professionally, hair and facial hair, just come prepared, no heavy cologne either, even if it's a professional look. And then feminine professional looks, here are a few examples. And data actually has an amazing resource for campus. Some outfits, which is awesome. As you can see, these suits are really popular. But nothing too distracting. And you can see the minimal pieces of jewelry. And earrings are smaller, which is always a good just addition to your fit. Two-piece sets are always popular. The clothing should fall an inch below your just do a little bit, not too much, just like we said, it gets distracting. I don't keep it appropriate. Turkey can be definitely full length, not anything too short. Conservative accessories as well. Just keep it minimal. Shoes, heels, wedges, heels, loafers, any of that is great. Just avoid flip flops or sandals. and to go comfortable shoes, so you're able to walk if you need to during a meeting. And where you can purchase professional clothing and tailors, great option in anthropology here in Knoxville. Express is a good modern here, and H&M I was talking about are good ones. And I'm going to talk about the Zoom professional attire. Now that COVID has been altered our working and meeting environments, should change. So I know a lot of misconceptions are just because it's way staff to be fully dressed, it puts you in a better mood. You are fully aware that you're in a work meeting. So still dress like professional like you would in any other formal meeting. But fitting top, wear something that's simple, not distracting, especially because there's usually other Zoom people on and it can sometimes feel a little distracting. Make sure your clothing is appropriate, just like you would in an in-person meeting. Just because it's on Zoom, it doesn't change the fact that it needs to be appropriate and professional. And still very dress too many colors and avoid too many big logos. It can be distracting and take away from other people and your stuff. Unless you're instructed to do otherwise, it can be distracting and you need to see each other's faces, but that's definitely important. And for wrinkled clothing, just because it's on camera, you can still see it. You can still see if it's well fitted or not. So that's just important to remember. Examples of how to successfully look on Zoom for meetings. You can see that they're all neatly fits and got simple minimal background, so it doesn't take away from other people. You can see their face clearly, the lighting is good. So this is just an ideal image of how you want to look like and on the Zoom call. Those are great options. Just make sure it's professional. There are so many pieces you can put together to look professional, casual, or formal professional. Since you individual and your personality, but keep it in an appropriate manner. And that's really important. Actually, if you're going to an interview, you want to represent you and your personality and let a recruiter know who you are. So just keep it appropriate and professional. And just overall, that's perfect. When you go to meetings and if you go to interviews, you're making a first impression and you're, letting people know who you are. So it's just good. It's not on your well. You have questions, you do want it's just here. Yeah, it's just here's an image you can throw several pieces together, whether it's masculine or feminine, that go well together and it's professional. So if nobody has any other closing things, we can leave time for questions. I'm not sure if anyone in person or online can answer anything.
I have a couple questions. I don't know if you can hear me. Okay. Could you go back to the first slide about men's casual wear? Okay. Yes, thank you. I just needed to see that real quick. And then whenever it talked about women's handbags, it said no backpacks, and I know that probably means like Jansport or something like that, but I have like a small black leather Kate Spade backpack. Would that be like considered not professional? Hello, I can't hear you. I'm sorry. I cannot hear. It's like it kind of sounds like you're underwater. It's okay if you can't. It's fine. It's fine.
There's a
Yeah, yeah. It's just one of them. Right. Yeah. I have a question too. So being a retail station area, how would you say professional dress differs?
Yeah,
If that's like your focus.
great question. So I would definitely say, if you're interviewing or you're going to the job fair, kind of the industry you're going in, rather than what you can and you can't wear. Definitely retail, advertising, whether it's, kind of more creative, industries, a little more, so where and a little more versus if you're more like more of a simpler look, because it's a little more professional, this business. Variety, variety of things happen. Competitive offers and you say. Because you stand up, if they're seeing several hundreds of students, it can be to your advantage. So I definitely say it's like company too. You're, applying for like accounting job, of course you want to look like you're a professional, but if you're like applying for like a more like retail job maybe, or like management. If you're one more like a retail management and the requires more. Looking at the company you are looking for and seeing kind of on what the work culture is. Some might be others, and if you're talking to somebody on LinkedIn or another, what do people wear? So, anything that just kind of depends on.
Couple of questions, and I think you're related. The first thing is, I saw it in the woman's thing, but do you consider for like the masculine polo to be an appropriate business casual, like a plain polo shirt with the collared one, like you use the one you sell at the ball shop, the power tee. You consider business casual?
Okay, are you talking about polo with like sport coat or just the polo?
Because I feel like even company representatives, when they come to our events, they will company people.
Yeah. Let me interject there for a minute, because you can't always look at the company, like at a job fair and they're in their polo shirts, because they are there standing and all day. That is not a true reflection of what they may wear to work. So again, you can't really look at that and go, oh, I'm gonna dress casual. But for your question, it would kind of depend on how it looks in the event. I could potentially see a polo shirt. I could see a polo even with like a sport coat. So again, you always want to make sure you look professional. Doesn't have to be the top tier, but just kind of think about aspiring to that position you want in the next level. Does that make sense?
Right, I totally agree, and if you were
You answered to it with the second question. I've been in situations where the career fair you go on a nice professional or with an interview. But a lot of the time, like I've had an experience with a company where they bring you over for a dinner, some of the perspective and it's considered to be almost like a plain job interview kind of thing. In that the situation, what should be because it's probably in a local restaurant and there was one case like I was the only one when they're wearing a suit, but most of the other, even the other interviews and stuff were wearing more business casual. And what would you suggest?
Start me off. Here's the key thing. One, I will always say, don't hesitate to ask. When you're asked out for something, that is kind of changing the environment. really could see. I'm looking forward to it. Any suggestions on attire? But again, dinner can be a little more, if it's kind of a group, it can be a little more casual. I don't mean dress casual, but you've usually got a little bit more flexibility and relaxed. But, they're not gonna think that you're crazy for asking the question. It's more important to just kind of make it almost a kind of, oh yeah, by the way, any suggestions on attire or recommended attire? Because it's showing you care and you just want to verify information.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're all very dependent. It just shows that you have an initiative and you want to be, running, just respecting that. Even in that situation, it's a little, probably, they're not good answer, but you can maybe, like, a little bit more. So,
You can always just take your coat off too once you get down. So even if you're like a little bit more dressier than the rest, that can kind of make it just a little bit more.
And the other thing is, I'm kind of, this might be old. If you're older, that's a whole lot better than me. You should end up so bad. Maybe a little.
Yeah, right.
It still has this,
Yeah. Most of the time, they know that you were trying to impress. And again, that's what we tell everybody is make a good first impression. Yeah, I agree with it's kind of better to be a little bit over than to totally be under.
but I mean, that's not, it's just, you really, you're, and the rest of the shows like you did, so I would be,
Is there not like a certain type of dress that could be business professional? Like dress, not like dress. Dress is in the garment.
sorry, what is it? She's so sorry. Cables and I put on a blazer with it. Yeah. Are you agree?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's, I think probably would just like a nice simple cut dress or even that one that's kind of belted. If it's something that doesn't have sleeves, then I would definitely be asked to put like a little cotton jacket or a little
Yeah.
cardigan or something, just because again, it kind of pulls it and makes it look a little more professional. No, it's very appropriate. Just make sure it's not too short.
But I wasn't thinking.
No one wears nylons anymore, basically, even though I still wear on stuff. Yeah, like tights, tights. But yeah, so I mean, I tend to actually go for longer dresses so that I don't have to wear.
actually, longer middies are really fashion.
Yeah.
Fashionable right now. And they're easy to wear. Those kinds of.
Other sources of inspiration do y'all use when you're putting together outfits?
There's definitely, I mean, Instagram bloggers, influencers who are posting, outfits professionally and people, and then they get a lot of inspiration from that. Your categories that are. Sometimes it's great. That you, that are already doing. You need to get my check, so, you're downstairs, show your personality and that takes time. So, you can be also their individual and class are satisfied, and they say, I feel like they say, like, farmers, and stuff.
I have another question. So the other thing, like, in the job interview stuff that I feel like sometimes I struggle is something like an award show. Like, so to take an example, if we have the CSC award show in person, like, I know there are some that are like black tie event and you obviously wear to your, that's your finest and everything. But if it's like, yeah, to take the CSC award show, is there an event where you can wear a business casual, like, with a nice shirt, or would you still say to dress up to the nines? Sometimes,
We had a state organization awards. And like that, it's a little more business casual, whereas like Chancellor's Honors Banquet, that is, I mean, you dress a lot because that's the highest awards banquet at the institution. Trying to think of other cases, professionally, like those kinds of dinners and awards
and networking events, like, which,
and things like that. I think you think about the audience too and who it's catering towards and what the awards are for. But yeah, those are two prime examples of like student engagement, student organization awards versus like Chancellor's Honors Banquet.
Different.
And, you know, great awards, but the Chancellor's Honors Banquet does hold, I think, more weight too, because that is the highest honors at the institution. And so you would dress for that too. Great question.
Happy you're student union, and there is tons of arena, there is really student. So you can present your log card and your information, you simply get free visit. They bring for free. So you can send the form, you really are great resources. Included in there, you see other things together. So if you want to make some pieces together and then one, happy to do that. For this inspiration, if you're ever going to these time, this one is the inspiration for them. There's some people that will be on it, we have a huge opportunity if you haven't done it.
It's in 376
Yes.
in the student union, just so people know. 376C.
Cool. Because you can go and get free business cards, so this is a different.
I've been guessing my life. What are some tips, like for, I mean, either way, masculine, feminine, like colors that you wouldn't put together? Like for example, I don't know if this is true, but I've been told, because I love to do this, but I've been told like it's not, like do together. Is that true?
Really just depends, like black and navy.
Yeah, it can come in like we should have to use our funds to get out and bright or something. And sometimes if you do that, you you know, you're gonna want to. You might want neutral color and one color. And you could do like more medium bright. And
Like the season we're in as well. In the spring season, you could do like a cream color, like maybe like a lighter yellow or something, just color in there, and then for like the winter time, like stick like darker colors. You really want it. get into it, you can look at the color wheel too, and look at what complements one another, what doesn't complement, and so on and so forth. My brother's in middle school art. But if you really want to look and see like what goes together on the color wheel itself too, that's always a good.
Let's have it online, because if it's across from the color wheel, it's a contrast, a complementary color, and it looks so good. Like if you put navy and kind of orangey red together, it looks great, even though it is. You know, I mean, I think contrast too. I think that one item needs to kind of be, complementing the rest of it, because that makes it stand up. Like the sweater up there with the dark pants, and then he kind of picked up the dark color again in his shirt. Is really good, and that's like the other suit with the teal sweater.
And I also, person who has a green sweater on, and have maybe a lighter blue shirt, which is kind of a two-tone. But then primary sweat, the rooms. School too. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and you can stay monochromatic and like the navy and then the lighter blue. You really can't go wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not in black shoes. I know we have two colors, but still sometimes I struggle. Like, does it matter? Like, is there a good like tips like when brown shoes work better than black shoes, when black shoes work better than brown shoes? In terms of like looking professional.
I think it's gotten much more casual about the shoes, because we used to want to match the shoes. But if it's navy or denim, usually you go with brown.
Yeah, I would say that.
And then black and black.
Yeah. Shoes sometimes a little more, but I feel like you can go. But if you're wearing like an all black suit, like definitely probably the shoes.
Maybe like a darker gray,
Yeah.
matching your shoes with your belt. Was that?
There is so many more rules than there is now.
You can get away with it.
Yeah, there's way more freedom now, like, in different ways and all that.
Right.
That's harder to do. I always think about it, but that's a hard one to do.
And just, look online at some outfits, kind of get yourself familiar with what looks good to you. And find somebody that'll give you a, second opinion too. I think that's
Great soft game. You've got great soft game.
Oh. I love wearing this.
Good soft too. Like if you're doing like an all black suit and then you have like the socks with like. I would say that. Yes.
I just gotta mention, and this is probably a little bit easier, shall we say, on the masculine side, but even wearing, and I'm not trying to advocate, but wearing like a UT tie, that's really neat, because again, you're showing this is my school, and that can be really important, like if you're going on site for an interview, because again, or even getting like a lapel pin, and this could be for anyone, like the Tennessee Tea or something. It's just a nice little touch, but it's just a way of showing your school colors. And people pay attention to that.
Or even if you're interviewing at a certain location, higher ed wise, it's always important to me when we're interviewing people and they come in our colors
Yeah.
too, just because you know that they've done their research.
And I went to the business shop there and we saw major. So I was up for the minute, that just wasn't in like suit and everybody. So it was like a sheet of red blazer. You were people, women, but in some cases, At least they were. So number is. You're one of them. Yeah.
A professional mask, is that a thing?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Take away our knowledge.
It's a normal thing. But you know, I feel like you don't have to, so.
Have you reading it this is time?
a little bit,
Yeah. Or maybe the time you saw here.
Amazon,
And
I'm the first girl there, so I don't really know what to do.
it's in the group that you guys write, like, people got from them.
When you, get starting a new position, an entry. Can't go around with black pants or white.
Kind of build your basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To almost like, I keep seeing capsule closets and capsule wardrobes that you can get your foundation and then build up from there, especially as a young professional too.
Yeah, for sure. This is. Clothing can be expensive, so, you know, what others on business, clothing, there's a lot. And where you're getting more of a business clothes, but it's good just like neutral colors.
Yeah, and I give one statement for maybe this would be useful, like, if you have a black or a gray suit piece, like, one of the things that happened, like I lost a bunch of weight last year, and so my pants did not fit anymore, but like, I can still wear the blazer, it was, good enough, but because it was black and gray, I can just go and somewhere around pick up a 34 instead of a 38, and so for men, it's easier, and so that's why, like, if you don't have those basic two colors and shirt white can you wear. Right. The classic is the blue shirt.
There's one person left on this.
Did you introduce yourself?
Yes.
You did, but you didn't tell that, but you're gonna do it in the future.